Hi there, my name is Stu Morris, curator of America's Packard Museum. In this video, I want to talk about our temporary exhibit, The British Invasion, a study on the special relationship between the United States and the United Kingdom in the automotive world. In this video, I want to talk about these four British Roadsters. The British Roadster craze in the US really started in Europe during World War II. American GIs stationed in the UK had the first real glimpse of what British motoring was all about: small cars that favored handling over anything else. In the words of Colin Chapman, simplify and add lightness, the opposite of everything coming out of Detroit in the 1940s. Americans did not know what a sports car was at the time, or rather, assumed it meant something else. A prime example of this is Packard calling the 1953 Caribbean
America's smartest sports car, the exclusive new Packard Caribbean.
Personally, I don't think a sports car can have a lead-formed hood scoop. I mean, this hood weighs like 100 pounds. Honestly, this 53 Caribbean is one of my favorite cars in our collection. If you want to see a video on this car, leave a comment down below. The first sports car that comes to mind in the post-war era is the MGTC, as many Americans imported it from the UK back to the United States. But it wasn't a particularly good driver. It had tall, skinny wire wheels, a solid beam front suspension that was technology from the 1920s, and it was right-hand drive. While I think right-hand drive is cool, a lot of American drivers couldn't get used to driving right-hand drive on American roads. Enter the MGTD. As you might have guessed, the MGTD is the successor to the MGTC. What may not be as apparent is that this was marketed for export with a heavy emphasis on US buyers. Ride quality was vastly improved with independent front suspension, 15-inch steel wheels with wider tires, and most obviously, left-hand drive. The TD was light at just around 2,000 pounds, which made it corner exceptionally well. Up front is a 76 cubic inch, or 1300 cc, four-cylinder that puts out a staggering 54 horsepower. While that might not seem like a lot of power, this car falls under the doctrine of using all of the car all of the time and teaches the driver how to take a corner and not get crossed up. In my opinion, the idea of these early MGT types lives on in the modern age with the Toyota 86 / Subaru BRZ and the Mazda Miata. A very special thanks to the British Transportation Museum for allowing us to borrow the MGTD. If you haven't seen them before, check them out in the comments below. Up next is the Austin Healey 3000, one of the greats of the British Roadster era. The Austin Healey 3000 is the brainchild of Donald Healey, who had the dream of creating an affordable sports car that could go 100 miles per hour. He achieved this by partnering with the Austin Motor Company to create the Austin Healey 100, a reference to his speed goal. After its parent company, the British Motor Company, wanted to share parts across all platforms, the 100 shed the big 2.7-liter four-cylinder for a 2.6-liter inline-six that was heavier and made the car slower in almost every respect. This variant, called the 106, lasted only 3 years until the Austin Healey 3000 debuted in 1959. The 3000 is often considered to be the best of the big Healeys. It used that 106 engine, but punched it out to 3 liters, hence the name 3000. It had 4 generations, Mark 1 through 4, this being a 1963 Mark II that was fitted with 3 carburetors over the previous generations too, making it almost a full second quicker to 60 miles per hour. The 3000 put the big Healeys into a space between what MG and Jaguar were offering at the time and had become more refined than when it started life as the 100. It offers a great Art Deco design that looks balanced yet fast, just standing still. However, they wouldn't make it to the 1970s. Yet, with the 3000 and the Sprite, Austin Healey accomplished what they set out to do, and that was to make a sports car for everybody. Chronologically, I want to skip ahead to the TR6, what a lot of people consider to be the last of the vintage British Roadsters. Triumph started life as a bicycle company in the late 1800s. They would start making cars in the 1920s and became famous immediately after World War II for their TR, or Triumph Roadster, series of cars. The TR series usually falls into two big camps: the TR3, produced from 1955 to 1962, which fully realized the design of early Triumph Roadsters, and on the other side, the TR6, produced from 1968 to 1976. The TR6 felt like a Triumph that grew up while retaining its vintage feel. It has a big straight six under this long muscular hood and a 4-speed transmission with overdrive. While it was still body on frame, it used independent rear suspension and rack and pinion steering with disc brakes up front, giving it a truly spirited driving experience. In the looks department, you have a redesigned body from the earlier TR5 by Carmen of Carmen Ghia fame. Personally, my favorite part of this car is the wide wheel arches that go all the way up to the belt line and are filled with very period correct wheels and tires. And the best part of this car, it's green. The TR6 is considered to be the swan song of the vintage British Roadster era. And while it may be the last, it's not considered to be the greatest. That goes to the Jaguar E-Type. Jaguar Cars started as a Swallow sidecar company in 1922, making motorcycle sidecars. Its first automobile arrived in 1935 under the name SS Cars. For what I hope is obvious reasons, the name SS was changed to Jaguar, or Jaguar, after World War II. Founder William Lyons had a personal motto of value for money that could be akin to Packard's internal motto, quality first. Jaguar made excellent cars during the 40s and 50s, with their most sought-after car being the XK series. The XK120 redefined how beautiful a British car could be. So when it came time to introduce a groundbreaking car for the 1960s, Jaguar used the designer of its D-Type race car, Malcolm Sayer, to revolutionize what a car can look like. And that's the thing. That's what everyone talks about when they talk about the E-Type. They don't talk about the independent rear suspension with its inboard brakes. They don't talk about the gorgeous 4.2-liter straight six under the hood that produces 240 horsepower in the United States. They don't talk about its 150 mile per hour top speed. Everyone talks about how this car looks. In the mid-1990s, the Museum of Modern Art in New York created a list of a dozen cars they wanted for exhibit, and the E-Type was at the top of that list. They acquired one in 1996 and has been on permanent exhibit ever since. It has even been claimed that Enzo Ferrari called this the most beautiful car ever created. I mean, just a few years later, he introduced the 275 GTB, which arguably has quite a few design cues from the E-Type. I mean, it's iconic. For these last three cars, the Austin Healey, the Triumph, and the Jaguar, I have to thank someone very special, Mr. John Higgins, who recently passed away. And without him, this exhibit would not have come together, and he will be greatly missed in the Dayton and greater community. Thank you so much for spending time with us hearing about the Roadsters in our British Invasion exhibit. For the next video, I want to talk about this right-hand drive 1936 supercharged Auburn from the Auburn Court Duesenberg Museum. So stay tuned. My name's Stu Morris. I'm the curator of America's Packard Museum, and thank you for watching.